Hey, what's up? My name's Lucas. I'm a photographer and filmmaker based out of West Michigan. Welcome to my channel. Today we are talking about my everyday carry camera, and I'm comparing them between the Leica SL2-S and the Leica M10. Since I bought my M10, I've had a lot of people asking me if it's replacing my SL2-S as a daily carry, if the SL2-S is a viable daily carry camera, and which one I prefer and why. So I've had the M10 for a little over 5 months, I think. Maybe like 5 or 6 months. And it has been my everyday carry since I got it, and I've been really enjoying it. And before that, my everyday camera was the SL2-S, and I still have both of them, and I still enjoy both. So let's start with the SL2-S, which is currently not my daily carry. So one of the things, just the criteria of these two cameras. One, I am assuming that you are not doing any video, because if you are doing video, you shouldn't even consider an M10 as your daily carry because it doesn't shoot any video. But maybe look at the Q2 versus the SL2S. I love the SL2S. I also love the SL2, but the SL2S, there's something really special about this camera. It fits in my hand really nicely, and with M lenses on it, it doesn't feel like I'm carrying anything extra. I really like the EVF. It helped me learn how to do zone focusing really easily because I could just see exactly what I was doing with the M lenses, and it really helped me dial that in super quickly, which was a lot better because I was just kind of guessing and shooting on film and then forgetting what I was trying, everything. But so that was really helpful with it. I love the button layouts on the SL2S. It feels right in my hand. I've got kind of smaller hands, and so it actually fits really well in them. I don't feel like my pinky's falling off. Everything kind of just goes where it's supposed to go, and I really enjoy it. The sensor on this camera is really beautiful. It renders things really well, especially, but honestly, with any of the lenses that I've had with it. The SL lenses, I feel like, aren't really daily carryable. The only time that I'm really bringing an SL lens out into the real world is when I am trying to do video. But I have done it, and it's made some really beautiful images. But as far as using the M lenses on it, it's a really enjoyable experience. I think if you use glasses or are left eye dominant, or maybe losing your eyesight a little bit, the SL2S with your M lenses is a great option for you. I love the sound of the shutter. I mean, it's just a really clean shutter sound. You also have the added benefit of being able to use electronic shutter, which is great. Everything just kind of like sits well. As far as a stills camera, I love the SL2S. It's got great low light capabilities. The only things that I don't like about this camera is the battery life isn't incredible. When I'm just doing photos, it's fine. I mean, I'm re-recording this video because it stopped recording on my SL2 because it had less than 40% battery life, and I didn't notice it. So the battery life is kind of frustrating at times, but when you're just doing photos, it's not as bad as people make it out to be. Still bring backups, but it is nice that it has USB-C charging. While I was in Israel, I just left a charging block in my bag, and I just kind of like had it cycling in because even though I've got backups of these batteries, it's annoying to carry and they are expensive. So the SL2 is an incredible daily carry camera. I wouldn't do it with SL lenses, but I really enjoy it with M lenses. It really is a great pairing. The other thing that I don't like about it is that the sensor is just kind of hanging out. You take the lens off and it's just the sensor. It's kind of annoying. You do think twice when you are switching lenses, and if you're out by the beach, it's a little misty out, it definitely does make you think twice when changing lenses. When you have an M lens on, it is not weather sealed, so having the option to throw an SL lens on and have it be weather sealed for an everyday carry is also really convenient, but you do add that added weight, and it's already kind of a hefty camera. It's pretty much solid metal. Let's check out the M10, and I'll tell you why this is my daily carry. So the M10 is the closest thing that I've found that feels like shooting with my M6. I love the experience of shooting film, but it's not always viable. I bought the M10 to replace my FUJIFILM X100V, which was fine. I mean, I enjoyed the camera, but I was always editing the photos, and it didn't really stop me from shooting on my M6. But the M10 does, it's an incredible camera. One of the things that I love about it is it does really just feel like a film camera. My wife, we joke about it. Sometimes she'll be like, is that film or digital? Because I'd love to see the photos like sometime this month. But it feels like a film camera. It's got a really special sensor, and it's something that I can't really explain. It's just something that you have to see. So these example photos are just from the past few months using it. I find that I gravitate towards the 50 Summilux with this. I think there's something really beautiful that happens between the 50 Summilux and the M10. They just pair really nicely together. I love that I can adjust everything like manually, physically on the camera. I'm not going into menus I'm not messing around with profiles or video or anything. It's really just a stripped back camera that does exactly what I need it to do, and that's take beautiful photos. The low light performance is not as good as my SL2-S. I will say that one of the big things for me is I want to have good low light in my everyday carry, because you don't know what circumstances you're going in. But I have found that the M10 does hold its own, and I think the 24 megapixels kind of help with that. That sensor does a good job in low light. It's not perfect, it's not great, but it is good. And again, it's kind of like these Leica sensors. I feel like the low light noise isn't as jarring as other sensors do, but this camera just it feels nice in my hands. Again, not the biggest hands in the world, but it feels good. It's got great battery life. Honestly, a lot of people give the M10 battery life, like they complain about it. I don't really get that. I have 2 batteries for it, and honestly, it works great. You've got the bottom plate, battery. It's awesome. I do like having the bottom plate that you can remove. Gives it that kind of nostalgic feel. But yeah, I will say this camera gets a lot more attention than any of my other cameras. And it's because it's silver. People see this camera and it's like having a cool car. People want to come talk to you. They're interested in what you're doing. They are interested in the camera, or they're like, oh, I've always wanted that camera, or whatever. They are drawn to this like no other camera that I own. If you're trying to not be seen, the SL2-S is a great option, or just get this in black, because that literally never happens when I have my M6 with my 28 Summicron. Nobody pays attention. Actually, I had somebody ask me if it was a Sony. People will pay attention to the silver. Maybe gravitate towards the black if you are looking to be a little bit more incognito. One of the things that I really like about this camera, though, is it just works. It's just with me. It's got a great shutter, but it can't be silent. It does not have silent shooting. The drive modes are not very fast, but I don't need them to be. But it does have that nice cover over the sensor, which I appreciate. So the situations that I pick up my M10 is almost every day. I use it frequently. It's almost always in my bag, and then I'll take pictures of my family, my kids, just everyday life around me if I'm not working on something specific. And times when I grab my SL2-S or my SL2 over it is when I'm shooting film. Honestly, I will leave the M10 and just use the SL2 or SL2-S as my stills camera if I want to shoot film and digital side by side with video. If I'm just shooting stills, M10 all day with my M6. If I need silent shooting, I will grab the SL2-S. If I'm going to like an event or something where there's going to be somber moments, I like the SL2-S. And then again, like I mentioned, if I need weather sealing, I use the SL2-S. So when I was in Israel, I left my M10 here in the States, and that's just kind of, I don't really take it with me on trips. It's solely a everyday carry camera because I'm going to be shooting film, and I want to do the majority of my work when I'm traveling on film, and then I've got my SL2-S and SL2 as video and digital cameras. So I hope you enjoyed it. I hope it was helpful for you if you are in between which camera to get as an everyday carry. Helped answer any questions about the M10, SL2-S. I'm going to continue using the M10 as my everyday carry, and it's just, I really enjoy it. So drop down any questions in the comments if you have them, and if you're still watching at this point, please like and subscribe. It really does make a huge difference, and I will see you in the next video.